What contribution do you see from the African continent in terms of global manufacturing horsepower?
Oh, manufacturing? None.
Welcome to Tunachiki's Africa React. I am your host, Mikey Mushi, and this is the show where we go online and look at viral videos that are concerning the African continent. Today's video will be reacting to this video going viral by a global strategist called Peter Zeihan. And in his video, he practically says Africa is useless to the world. The future of Africa is useless. Africa is technically devolving. So maybe I guess he thinks we're going to return to monkeys, right? I don't know how these racist economists and globalists think. So before we watch the video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It's the best way to show YouTube this is a good video, and it will recommend it to more like-minded people like you. This is the video.
What contribution do you see from the African continent in terms of global manufacturing horsepower?
Oh, manufacturing? None. Very little. Africa is a series of stacked plateaus, so just getting the infrastructure in there to access anything is very difficult. And while they do have very high birth rates and a more stable population structure, a lot of that is only possible because they export raw commodities and then import the things that allow them to have a degree of modernity. You break down global supply chains, a lot of that goes away. And so I think a lot of Africa is going to devolve. And they just don't have the infrastructure or the skilled labor that's necessary to participate at scale. And even if they did, in a less robust security environment, the connections necessary to make that happen are going to be very thin. So I think it's far more likely that the North American manufacturing system will start incorporating pieces of South America. We already have free trade deals with Colombia and Chile, for example. But yeah, I'm afraid that Africa really can't be part of that. Now, we might see pieces of Africa following the Indian model. I can see Nigeria becoming broadly self-sufficient. I can see a partial reboot of South Africa, but that's for their own domestic markets rather than any sort of international connection.
So let's react to what this global strategist thinks of Africa. So he says Africa's global manufacturing prowess is none. That means zero, which is wrong. Africa manufactures a lot of things, right? He has a point where he says that Africa mostly focuses on exporting raw materials and importing already manufactured materials. That's something that the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement is going to fix in the coming decades, right? He also says that the infrastructure of Africa is very conducive for bringing manufacturing and stuff. That's useless. With all the development that Africa is doing, all the railroads that China has been investing in, all that is preparing Africa to be a manufacturing hub, right? So the problem with the white men like this is that they still think they're on top, right? They still think the West, the United States, is on top of the food chain. And for a global strategist, I'm wondering why he can't figure out that these days it's China. So America is freaking out, looking for new manufacturing partners because China will no longer be a viable partner, because China will be more developed than the United States. China will be more developed than the West. So why would then China be exporting cheap materials? So China is also looking for a place to build a manufacturing base, and China has chosen Africa, right? It's ignored the West, it's ignored South America. China has chosen Africa to be its manufacturing hub. India is also choosing Africa to be its manufacturing hub. Countries like Iran, countries like Turkey are really investing in Africa when it comes to the manufacturing round. And also, this point for that Africa is only a place to get raw materials. Countries like Ghana, countries like Burkina Faso are waking up and they're saying, oh no, the chocolate are not going to be exported as beans. Chocolates are going to be exported as the finished product, right? Meaning chocolates, like if you want any cacao, it will have to be finished and it will be at a higher price than right now. These countries like Belgium, Switzerland are getting at a throwaway price for those beans, right? Another thing also, gold. Countries like DR Congo, Rwanda, Uganda are manufacturing their own gold, right? They're not just exporting the ore so that they can sell it at a lower price. No, they're manufacturing gold, and the price of gold is fixed no matter where you go in this world, right? So things are changing. So another good example is that Zimbabwe has also said it's not going to export its lithium as raw products, and going just to export the finished product, right? So now this is the problem where we are happy, because we want this white supremacist, this imperialists to keep thinking that Africa is useless to them, right? To ignore us the way they ignored China, right? They ignored China, they disrespected China. Look what happened. China is better than them. China has a better GDP than them. China is more productive to the global manufacturing and to the global world market than them, right? They disrespect China. Right now, instead of learning from their lessons, they're also disrespecting Africa, right? And for my last point is that Africa's future is brighter than China's, brighter than the West, brighter than Europe, right? Technically, all other regions are actually dwindling. Their future dwindling. Africa's future is among the few that are actually rising. And all this is because of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, right? So this agreement alone can make Africa to be self-sustainable, right? It can make Africa to produce the raw materials, right? Which Africa produces majority of the raw materials needed for manufacturing in the world. It can help Africa manufacture all these goods needed, and it can even enable Africa to trade within itself. Egypt trading with South Africa, South Africa trading with right? We don't need the world to help us, or we don't need Africa alone itself, with a population of estimated of 4 billion by 2100, has enough people, has enough manpower, has enough youths, right? Africa has all the natural raw materials needed for manufacturing. So if we have these skills in IT, in manufacturing, the world is our oyster, right? We will even be better than the current king right now, which is China. And we will make countries like the United States and Europe, who has used us, who have exploited us for centuries, regret how they think about us today. Okay, so with that said, this has been Mikey Mushi from Tuna Checking. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that YouTube recommends this video to more like-minded people like you. And with that said, always remember, Africa is watching.